Thanks very much indeed. Hi, good morning. Now then, how do you react when you know that all the family are coming round to your place? Does the idea fill you with joy, or does it fill you with dread? Can you imagine living in the same house as your parents and your children for the rest of your life? Well, this morning we'll be meeting some very happy families who do just that, and some for whom togetherness has turned them into a family at war. But first of all, bearing in mind Sunday is Mother's Day, let's start with the happy ones. Hands up all those who live happily close to or with their families. Let's have a look at you. Right, let's kick off with you. Describe the setup.
I live just across the road from my mother, my parents.
And this is you?
That's me, yes.
Why did you choose to do that?
Yes, I mean, it was luck, really, but it's the best place.
Why is it the best place to be?
Because I've got my mum just across the road.
So what does she do for you? What do you do for her? Why does this work so well?
Babysitting.
Babysitting? Dear old mum.
It's handy.
What do you get out of it, mum?
I get the pleasure of the children and having her close, but the grandchildren too.
Who else is around?
My husband lives with me, obviously. There's one brother
who's home with us now, and another son of mine lives just a few minutes away.
Yeah.
So.
What happens when you have a row?
We've never had an
we
argument.
don't. We don't.
We have never had an argument. The only time we've ever had an argument is when she grounded me for smoking.
That was a long time
And
ago.
that was a long time. We don't argue.
Does she interfere?
Never.
I'm stunned. You had your hand up, yeah?
Yes.
What's the setup with you?
Well, my husband and I have been married 14 years, and for all but 4 of those years, we've lived with my parents.
What, in the same house?
In the same house, yes.
Well, that's even more together. Yeah. Is it a big house?
Yes, it was designed with with the idea that there could be a granny flat. And soon after we married, we moved in with them, and we were in the granny flat.
Now,
Then
why did you take that decision? Was that an economic decision, or was
it? It was then, at
Yeah.
that time, yes. And then we bought a cottage and moved there. And when our little boy was 2, we moved back into my parents' house.
So that was your choice? That was by
That
choice?
was by choice, yes.
Okay.
They moved into the granny flat, and we had the rest of the house.
So the parents have given up their own house, moved into the granny flat, so you can have their house?
They sold it to us.
They sold it to you, okay.
Yeah.
That's living too close for comfort for some people.
I think it's perfect for us. We've got babysitters. My father's got a permanent helper in the garden. He can't go out in the garden without my son joining in. My mother's got an assistant for all her baking. And we've got babysitters, we've got company.
Mm-hmm. Do you row?
No more than we do with my husband and I do, or, 4 adults living together, you do get tension. But it's family, so it goes away again.
Is your husband happy with it?
Oh, yes. I mean, he really appreciates what they've done for us.
But there's nowhere to run away to, is there? If you have a row, I mean, you're still on the same location, you're still in the same location. There's nowhere to escape, is there?
We've got a door between us that we lock, especially last thing at night. And if we want privacy, then we lock the door.
Who else is close to their family? Hands up. You are?
Yep.
How close?
I live opposite, just like that lady.
Yeah. And how long have you done that?
7 years.
7 years. Do you have any? Can you envisage any circumstances in which you'd change? Why not?
No. It's just fantastic. It's brilliant. Just
Yeah.
as the lady said, I've got 2 children. I see my mum every single day without fail. If I don't go over, 10 minutes she's over. Why didn't you come over? We go shopping every weekend. It's brilliant.
Don't you get fed up of it?
No.
Lady behind?
Yeah, I've got 2 sisters and we're very close. Between the 3 of us, we've got 2 children. 2 of the sisters have 1 each. And everyone sort of is involved in the upbringing of the children. The children adore the 3 sisters as if we're all a mother to them. They've got my parents, obviously. We live within 5 miles radius, and like the lady in front said, if we don't see each other every day, then certainly we touch base with each other every day by phone.
Could you put up with this, Karen Malone?
Oh, I think it's not me. My parents couldn't put it with them. I mean, if they're watching, they'd just be thanking their lucky stars that this is not their situation. No, I think when I was 18, I think if I hadn't decided to leave, it would have been suggested to me because we were different, I mean, maybe it's because I was in a different generation, but I wanted to go and do my own things, and my parents, I thought differently from them. I did different things from them. I wanted to be different places and things that they might not approve of or they might not understand. Yeah. And I just wanted to fly by myself, and I think most people want to fly by themselves.
Have you never wanted to fly by yourself? That's what Carol's saying. Carol can't imagine any circumstances like yours. She'd feel claustrophobic. She'd feel hemmed in. What about you?
Well, everything this lady's saying hits home for me. I moved out 2 years ago, and I'm only 18 now. And now that I've experienced independence, there's no way I could ever go back. I love my mum, and she's been really, really good to me, but I couldn't live with her.
Why not?
Well, there's a personality clash, but I can't. I love my independence. I can't go back. Even when I stay the weekend, I can't wait to get home again.
And that's interesting because when I was your age, I had a personality clash with my parents, I guess, because I was doing different things. I was doing things that they didn't approve of, probably. Now I don't, they live in Newcastle and I'm not that close, I'm here in London. But, you know, the great advantage for me is that my parents never made me feel guilty about not being there. If I didn't ring for a month, they didn't give me a hard time. So now that we have this wonderful situation now, I love them more than you could possibly love anybody. And
You've got to say that, I do what you said earlier.
No, more as I get older. Well, I hope they are listening, because probably I don't tell them enough. But and I think about them, they're in my heart the whole time, but I can ring them every day. I can see them, you know, I'm 2.5 hours away, so I don't worry about that. And we have a wonderful relationship now. And the thing about the antagonism that you're having now, that will go away, and that's what's lovely as you get older.
On the other hand, Lucy, you've got to, I mean, what these people have just been expressing is what sounds to me like genuine, real affection. And it's a state of affairs that many people, certainly of an old generation, would say we could do with more of, frankly.
And, you know, everything, when we have clients into our counselling room, one of the first things you ask is, how was your relationship with your parents? And you can always tell if they've had a really good relationship with their mother, particularly, I have to say, then that's going to stand them in very good stead for future relationships. I mean, it's extremely important that we have good relationships, if we can, with our parents. But, and there is a but here, there has to be boundaries. And what I see is when the parent relationship can intrude in on the marital relationship. The other half doesn't quite want to see her or his parents, and it's either way, quite as much or she or he does, and that can cause so much, so many
Has anybody
problems.
had that, by the way, where somebody else has said another a brother or a husband or has not tolerated?
It's the husband and wife bit, really.
Yes. Yeah. Are you saying, in a sense, that what they're doing is potentially, at least, unhealthy?
No, I would never say that. If it works for you, that's absolutely great. But I speak with caution here, because I'm thinking of the couples who come to see me where it's not probably going to be working. And I see a lot of them where so often this comes up. I mean, I'd be interested to know, how does your husband feel about this?
Doesn't bother him at all.
Doesn't bother him at all, which is great.
Yeah, he just sees my mum as...
He loves me.
Yeah.
Who couldn't?
I mean, that's good and it's healthy and it's working. But
How does a good Jewish boy handle this, Andy?
Well, you just have to accept it, because Jewish women rule the house, you see. And I mean, it's not wanting to fly the nest. I'm not allowed to, because if I leave, you know, if I went away, my mum would phone me up and say, "You haven't visited me for 4 weeks. Where have you been?" You know, and it's great.
You get that? Do you try leaving?
I've tried many a time. I went away for 5 years. I joined the Royal Navy to get away from my mother, and she wrote to my captain saying, "Look after my son. Don't let him go near. Make sure he wears a life jacket." You know? And I still live with my folks, and I love them dearly.
You don't want to be up, no, you do.
I still live with my folks, because I live in London.
I'm a bit worried about his wife. Yeah. Potential wife.
I work in London. I can't afford to have a house in London. It's just too expensive. So I live with my folks. I have a great relationship with my folks. But my mum, she does dotter me. I mean, this morning I got up at 5:30. She got up with me. She dressed me. She didn't really.
But she'd like to.
She waved me goodbye. Not only did she wave me goodbye, but the neighbours waved me goodbye. The rabbi waved me goodbye. Bye. Right. She also gave me a lunchbox. This is my lunchbox. I've had this since I was 8. Right. I used to have a Mr. Man one, but I lost that.
She wanted a girl, was it?
Well, she always wanted a girl. She used to call me Davina when I was 7. I don't know. It's something my mother did. And then there is my bagel, and my drink, and my chocolate bar. And if I don't take this home, and if I don't eat it, I'm going to get a slap.
You see, beneath all the jokes, your community is very together.
The woman, the lady rules the house. I mean, you know,
but you stay.
That's why Jewish folks walk around like men.
But all my Jewish friends live near their relatives.
Oh yeah,
and they're very close.
Oh yeah, and if you try and go away, like I said, you get phone calls and letters. And stuff like that.
I'm Jewish and I live with my parents. I mean, I'm a student, and the reason I live at home is because I can't afford to move out.
Sure.
But we're really, really close and get on really well.
And can you imagine? I mean, just a serious point about it. Can you imagine, by choice, living away from them? Not.
I went travelling for over a year, and I mean, I came back home because I couldn't afford to move out. But the Jewish community is very, very
When
close.
I came home, I phoned my mum and said, I'm coming home now. I've been away for 5 years, Mum. I'm in the Royal Navy. I've got 2 war medals. I'm tough. I'm coming home, Mum. She went, great, son. I'll get your bedroom ready. I came back. She had decorated my bedroom in Star Wars wallpaper. Got the bunk bed up, the duvet, and Mum, I'm 27. You know, it's an embarrassing.
Well, can you contemplate living at home?
Well, my situation changed February last year, where I was on loan for 6 years with my daughter, and I moved down from Scotland to England, and my mum was staying 4 miles away from me, but decided that she wanted to move across the road. She's always cross. We have arguments if there's something she's not happy that I'm doing.
She's too close, is she?
She's too close. I love her, despite what she thinks sometimes. But it's definitely sometimes too close.
Why is she too close? I mean, I'm not, apart from geographically, what's the problem?
She expects me to be there to help my sister, who's older than me, and my brother. He was recently in hospital, and because I didn't stay with him the one night that he was ill, I come home and she started an argument. She says he needed me, but I had my own daughter.
What about the children? Does she?
She loves the children. She's actually better with my son and daughter than she ever was with
Have you
us.
tried talking to her about this?
We've tried. We have tried. It doesn't seem to get anywhere. If it does, it's for 5-10 minutes, and then we're back to scratch again.
You see, your casebook's full of stories like this, isn't it?
Yes,
What do you say to her? And I'm doubtless lots and lots of other people watching this programme who have a similar sort of situation, who love their mum, but there's a problem. And it's not just mum, there's dads as well, too.
I think it's plucking up the courage to be very honest with your mother, and that is very, very difficult. And what I find is people can be more honest in some ways and be more brutal with their partners or their husbands or wives than they can with their parents. They find it very difficult to lay out the boundaries and say, look, I love you very much, but I'm grown up now, I need to lead my own life. I want to make a few decisions without knowing you're watching me or commenting or, you know, I want to be a completely independent human being.
But why do some people, maybe this lady's one of them, why do some people feel that they're unable to do that? Is it because they've never sort of left their mother's apron strings? Is it because the mother's dominating or they're weak?
Oh no, I don't think you can be quite so specific as that. I think it's how the relationship's been right from the very start. And yes, I have to say it is about powerful parents who don't even recognise it, I have to say.
Lady up there had her hand up. Are you in this category?
Well, no, I'm actually 21, still living at home while I'm studying at university. But the relationship that we have with our family is incredibly close. We're Turkish Cypriots, and we all live within a 5-minute distance of each other. This is my mum, and everybody thinks we're sisters. We live together, and they think, oh, your relationship's so special. And this is my auntie, who she's actually got 2 sisters, a brother, and 2 nieces.
Yes, 7 of us.
Where there's 7 houses all down the same road. They all live together, and we're all very, very close, aren't we?
Very well.
I know, but you see, everyone keeps saying there must be a moment when you could throw a plate at her, or you know, and there must be moments when you want to do the same to her. Surely there are.
There are.
And there must be moments when you think, I wish I was on my own. I wish I had some escape route.
No, it's never actually I wish I was on my own, because I could be living away, you know, from home, but there's just too many comforts at home. I mean.
Well, maybe that's it. It's too easy, you see, isn't it?
I also think it is a cultural thing too. Exactly. It isn't just about. I mean, I think British people are different from Turkish. I mean, my husband's from Sarajevo, and that is a very close-knit community. Families do live with each other. You know, that's how they're brought up to think. It's a lot of it's economic because people can't afford it, but a lot of it's because that's how they're brought up. The children are the most important thing. But what I think is sad for this lady here is that when your parents won't let go, that's the hard thing. It's wrong for parents to make kids the main thing in their lives and that they have nothing else, because that's too hard on the children. I mean, it's like, you know, what's the old saying about, you know, your children are only on loan? I mean, that has to be like that. They can't be the parent's life because that's too hard for the kids.
She sometimes says that she doesn't want me to make the same mistakes that she's made. So she tries to stop. I keep saying to her that I need to make mistakes to learn.
I mean, you know what it's like when you're a teenager, when your mum says don't do that, you go and do it because you just have...
And you learn that way, as an independent person.
Yeah. She doesn't want me to make the same mistakes all my brothers.
Why have you come here today? Have you come here today? Let me ask you a question. Because, well, you came here today because we invited you, but I guess you rang our line and volunteered to come on the show. Have you come here today to send her a message?
It's a hard one.
Yes, it is, because we have spoken to each other, but she doesn't like me being too honest with her, because that usually sets off another argument. So I don't even, apart from loving her, there's not a lot else I can say to her.
Well, you've said it.
Yeah.
You've said it, and you've said it very well. And thanks so much indeed for doing so. We're going to take a little break. Don't go away. Lots more to come in a couple of ticks.
DFS are filming their latest TV ad. Let's see what's in store.
Michael.
Tom, so what's the offer?
It's the biggest offer DFS have ever made.
You can choose anything, take 5 years free credit and pay nothing for a year.
Can you better that, Tom?
Absolutely. There's 25% off our entire Barclay Magna range.
But hurry, this combination offer ends Sunday, 5 p.m.
That's DFS.
At Sidcup, New Malden, Valley Park, Purley Croydon, Milton Keynes and Reading.
Coming up, 2 great Bird's ideas.
Bird's Eye Crispy Chicken Dippers! Well, everybody's heard about the word. The Bird's Eye Chicken Dippers, the word. I say the Bird's Eye Chicken Dippers, the word. Well, don't you know about the word? Chicken Dippers, ain't you heard? I say the Bird's
Only
Eye
chicken worth dipping passes the Bird's Eye.
These are the only peas with the Bird's Eye vitamins in peas guarantee. As fresh as the moment when the pod went.
If you're a Bristol & West customer, you'll know we specialise only in the more important financial matters. The Bristol & West's proposal to combine with Bank of Ireland Group is important too. Within the next 10 days, voting members will be receiving their voting packs through the post. Although you have many important things to do in a day, please make time to read your voting pack as soon as it arrives.
That one all right then?
Do you really think so? Quite apart from you insisting on calling Brenda Naomi all evening, the souffle had practically welded itself to the dish.
Just the way I like them.
Then, while you were drooling over your Naomi, the lasagna was in so long it looked like it had been blowtorched.
To perfection.
And that stupid sticky toffee pudding of yours could have stuck handles to teapots.
I love it when you talk dirty.
Persil, the perfect way to end a meal.
Come, my fine cat, against my loving heart. Sheathe your sharp claws and settle. And let my eyes into your pupils dart, where agate sparks with metal. Sheba.
To celebrate their centenary, EMI presents the sale of the century. 100 of the world's finest albums at incredible prices. Classic albums from David Bowie, The Beatles, Diana Ross, Blur, Pink Floyd, The Rolling Stones, The Pet Shop Boys, and lots more. The sale of the century at participating record stores now.
A report out this week says weddings are getting more and more expensive. Did you find planning your ceremony stressful for financial or for other reasons? Maybe you had disagreements with relatives about the cost, the venue, and who to invite. Perhaps as the bride or bridegroom you felt let down by someone. Maybe you had a happy wedding which brought your family together, or maybe it drove you all apart. Was it worth all the expense, or did you marry on a shoestring and feel you don't have to spend money to have a good day? Well, whatever your story or your point of view, give us a call now on 0891 700 145. That's 0891 700 145. Took me by surprise. Welcome back. We're talking about people and their families and those who like to be together and those who don't. Tell me about your family.
I live with my mum as a single parent, which is a single parent family, and we get on really well. We've got a really good relationship, but I just can't stand the moaning and nagging about silly things. And she's actually moving to Cyprus in 2 months, and I really can't wait for her to go. Just go and leave me.
Well, maybe she can't wait to go either. Maybe she'd be glad.
I'm glad. Yeah. I mean,
well, seriously, I mean, she knows all this, and it's no surprise to her, I presume.
Yeah.
You have this conflict, yeah?
we get on really well, but the reason why I think I'm like this is because at a young age I had a lot of independence and freedom to do what I wanted to. So I developed my own personality very young, where some people don't develop it until they're 18, 19, 20. And I just want to live my own life and do my own thing. And if I want to leave the dishes there overnight, I want to leave them there. I don't have to wash them before I go to sleep. And just leave, if the house is a mess, leave it in a mess, because I can find things easier that way. But with my mum there constantly, it's do the bedroom, do the dishes, tidy the house, and it just gets on your nerves. It really does.
What, yes. What other points of conflict? The child?
No, we've always got on. We've never ever clashed about.
No, I mean you say you've got a child. Have you got a child?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said you were a
No, I haven't.
No. I thought you said
Too young.
Misunderstood. Misunderstood. So she'll be happy to get out too, will she?
Yeah, but see, we're in the Greek community. I'm a Greek Cypriot in Cyprus. I've just come back from there from a holiday, and the main issue is family all the time. It's family come round for dinner, family meals, family barbecue, family this all the time, and it just drives me mad. It's just the same thing every day, day in and day out, and you know, it's just the same thing all the time.
See, Lucy over there accused me in the break of being terribly English here and thinking only like the English thing. But you see, there you are. There's a member of a.
But she's living over here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
So it's a conflict of culture, isn't it? She was over there and really brainwashed into all that sort of feeling, and you're seeing a whole different life over here, aren't you?
It's completely different, and I enjoy it.
Yes.
I don't know. I come from a close family as well, of Greek Cypriots as well. And even though we're three sisters and we get on very well, we're very close, we are three individuals. We have very different personalities. We have good humdingers. Unlike, sort of like this lady said, well, we've had clashes with our parents, but it tends to bring us closer together. And we all have our own group of friends. It's not that we don't have our friends, but when all said and done, I mean, I've been through a very bad marital breakup, and my sisters were there for me, and they're the ones that kept my sanity. And when all said and done, friends can go away, but your family will always be there for you.
But I think it's very limiting if you stay at home. I mean, I'm from a very small mining village. My job as a journalist has taken me all around the world. I've had a fantastic life. If I had stayed at home like a lot of people did at my age, you know, I go back then and there are people with 3 and 4 kids and they're very happy, and that's their life. But actually, I am so glad there's a big wide world out there, and I wanted to go and see it. You know,
they're missing out.
And I think people do miss out.
What do you think?
I agree. I mean, I left home when I was 13. I'm now 18.
13?
13, yeah. Went into foster care, but I haven't I've had 25 different placements over the 4 years.
What, 25 different families?
Different families and children's homes as well. And although that's like, you know, it's sort of a bit sad in some ways, I do miss my brothers. I've gained a lot from it. I mean, I've got my independence. Everything I do on my own, if I need to.
Do you not envy our friend over there who started the programme, who couldn't be there to be more than 2 minutes walk away from her mum?
I'm just as independent as anyone, really. Just because I love my mum and love being close to my mum.
No, we're not saying you don't love.
Oh, I know, but
Could you live away from your mum?
No.
But so that means you're not independent.
But I just want to be close.
We have independent
But why
lives.
is it a fear?
I don't have to see her every day. She can go on holiday if she wants, you know.
Well, thanks.
I just think just as long as she doesn't go too long.
As long as she provides another babysitter, yeah? No, I'm joking. All right, but do you not, what I was asking, do you not envy them at all?
A little bit. I mean, I'd love to have somebody there that would do things for me, but I mean, what are you going to do if something happened and
when my mum dies, you mean? I'm dreading it.
Well, that's a very... See, I'm not...
No,
particularly with Mother and Sunday coming up, we're not wishing that. But it's something you've got to face, isn't it?
I will go away.
But it doesn't go away, does it? You know, I mean, I'm as close as Angela and I are. I'm the same with my mother. My mother lives close to me, and we are very close. I like to see my mum every day.
Could you tolerate that situation? Would you like that situation? I say tolerate. That sounds... It's a burden. It's not a burden. I mean, would you like that situation?
Well, I mean, every family is different, obviously. I mean, if you've been brought up that you're in a very, very close family and that you rely on each other so much, then, yeah, that's great. But, I mean, what I'm thinking is, are you going to want that for your kids? When your kids grow up, do you want to live with them? And if they don't want you to live with them, what are you going to feel like?
No, I've got...
That's an interesting point, isn't it?
I've got 2 boys. And even though I'm not having any more children, one's 3.5, one's 7 months. And the only way I would want a girl is to have the same relationship I've got with my mum, because it's wonderful. I've got something to... I've got 3 older brothers, so I never had sisters. We're a male-dominated family mainly, and I've always been... I was a tomboy when I was younger.
Okay, well, let me just pick up this point with you, Lucy. What's going to happen to people like in this situation when mum goes? Is that going to be a problem? They're so dependent on it. Not dependent, but they're so fond of close.
Well, I have to take what she's saying, that no, she'll probably manage. She's already decided how she's going to feel. But I think the thing is, it's working both ways, so that's okay to a point. I say it with scepticism a bit. But on the other hand, you've got, like this lady was saying, you've got then maybe a child who does want to break free, and you don't feel very secure about that as a mother, and you don't allow your children perhaps somewhere to break free. You may think you are, but you're still holding on to them. That could be very, very difficult for the children.
Yeah.
Very, very suffocating.
Young lady, let's have a lady here first, then you've had a word, then we'll come to
Well,
you.
I had a very close relationship with my mother for 60 years, and in the latter years on a daily basis. Does that mean you should not have this relationship because you think what will happen when she dies?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, like all these things we discuss on this programme, it's a matter of degree, isn't it? I mean, of course you should have it. I'm not suggesting it's unhealthy to have
Not
it.
you personally, but
No.
people are saying you shouldn't. You should be independent. But I mean, then do you miss out on this close relationship?
I think what Lucy's saying is stay close, stay friends with your mother, be warm towards your mother, and be warm towards each other. But don't let it get to a point where you are entirely dependent on each other for your existence. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. And also, I think don't be frightened about having the odd. I mean, what's coming over a bit this morning is some people are quite frightened of actually having any sort of argument with their parents, and of upsetting them.
I'm not frightened of having an argument. If we ever had one, then
we would have one, but we don't.
I think a lot of people say that we're very much alike.
Would you dare to have an argument with your mother?
I won't be here today, man. I would like to say as well, before the end of the show, Mother, I'm going to be late because Lil's taking me home.
Your lucky day.
She's blowing in my ear and everything. It's graphic.
You found a surrogate mother. Yes.
I've got 6 children.
She's still at it. Sorry.
I've got 6 children, 2 living at home, 2 living within 6-mile radius from me. I've got 1 living in New Zealand and 1 living in Australia. And I have got a house full every day of the week. I don't think there's one day go by without I haven't got visitors, and it's not just my family, it's nieces and nephews as well. I mean, this is my sister.
Are you happy with it?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
All right, young lady in the back, before we're closing. Yeah.
I was just going to say that most of the audience are saying that it's all right to live at home, but you become self-reliant on your parents, as Maz was speaking, because like when you come reliant on your parents, when they're gone, what are you going to do?
Okay. You'll work it out, I hope. These are for you, aren't they? Yeah?
For my mother.
I know, you brought them for your mother to show how much you think so. What? How nice. With mothering, and don't forget your flowers for mothering Sunday either. Okay? See you soon. Bye-bye. On Monday, meet the woman who says her life was ruined the day her best friend won a fortune. Did you fall pregnant after an affair or a one-night stand? Did your lover deny that he was the father of your child? Perhaps you had difficulty in persuading him to have a blood or DNA test. Were you even unsure who the father was? Maybe you're a man who was accused of fathering a child that wasn't yours. Whatever your story or your point of view, give us a call now on 0891 11 1126. That's 0891 11 1126.